Hey guys, what is up? Reese here, and I've got a brand new sneaker pickup to show you. What we're looking at today is the Nike LeBron 12 Elite in the Team or Ignite colorway. The colors listed on the box are University Red, White, Black, and Laser Orange. These released on Friday, April 17th, 2015 with a retail price of $275. Now I love this shoe. I'm actually a huge fan of the LeBron 12, and I think they made some really nice changes going from the regular to the Elite, and I'll talk all about those changes in a minute. But the one thing I will say is, in no way does it seem like the changes they made should warrant a $75 price increase over the base model. It's kind of insane, but thankfully the market's actually been responding to that, and a lot of people either just weren't interested in the shoe or were interested but didn't want to pay that money, and so these are sitting everywhere. And the result is they actually have already started to go on sale at places. I know I follow Kick Steals over on Instagram and Twitter, and I was actually able to see they sent out a link a week ago where these were available for $200, and so that's how I snagged them up. I definitely wasn't going to pay retail. I like them a lot. I think they look great. This is definitely my favorite of the three colors we've seen of the LeBron 12 Elite, but I just wasn't willing to pay that $275. Didn't feel like it was justified. But so if you're in a similar boat, just keep in mind that they're already going on sale, and they'll continue to go on sale because it's a very high price point. It's a price point a lot of people either can't or don't want to afford. But with all that said, I do really like what they've done with this shoe. Real quick here, I'll go over the changes between the regular and the Elite, and then we'll get into the close-up view and I'll show you kind of more details and everything that they've done here. But so the first thing you'll notice is the lacing system is off-center. That's just to help kind of with lockdown. And they actually redid the shape of the mid-foot and front of the foot, like toe box area, just a bit from what I can tell, because when I wear the regular LeBron 12s, it just feels like there's some dead space up there, and it really feels like they got rid of at least most of that with the Elites, which is nice because you just get a little better containment up there in the front of your foot, and it doesn't really like wiggle around at all. And the nice thing is, since these are made with mesh and Mega Fuse, like even if you have a bigger foot, that won't be an issue because it'll still work with your foot. Another big change was they added Nike's Pro Combat padding material here for the collar, so it's a lot more plush than the regular LeBron 12. Not that there was anything wrong with those, but these definitely feel great when you slip them on, and that's just like a lot of comfort and a lot of just impact protection there. The big change to the upper though, technology-wise, was the removal of the posit material and the replacement with these TPU molded, what they're calling like vertical takeoff wings, and these are here for stability and lockdown. And you've also got it coming up here through kind of like the side of the foot, and you do have cutouts in a couple different places there just to help shed some weight and make this actually a lighter shoe, since the LeBron 12 was a little bit bulky. One thing to note here, and I haven't had a problem, but I just definitely could see people having a problem, is up here on the side where this TPU piece comes in, you could experience a little bit of pinching, especially early on if you have a bigger foot. So that's just something to keep in mind. I know people had that problem with the LeBron 11 Elite, where there was a similar piece coming up that was also molded like that. Another tech change is the fact that these include a 6th zoom unit. So the original LeBron 12 had the big zoom unit in the heel, and then 4 hex units. You had one here, 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 and here. It looked like this one right here was also a zoom unit, but the regular LeBron 12 actually just had like an empty pod essentially sitting there. There wasn't actually a zoom cushioning unit, but for the Elite they did actually add that 6th zoom unit right there. I'll go through all of like the visual and just like the styling changes in the close-up view, but with all that said, let's go into that close-up view now. We'll take a look at the colors, materials, and everything going on with the LeBron 12 Elite. Here we go, the close-up view of the Nike LeBron 12 Elite in the Team or the Ignite colorway. So for the main part of the upper, you've got the same Mega Fuse construction. You can see these shinier areas are the Mega Fuse overlay on top of a red mesh. Backing, you've got these different channels for the mesh where it's just the mesh, no mega fuse, and that helps with breathability and also kind of creating flex points for the shoe. You can see those running all the way up here through kind of like the tongue area, even though there is no true tongue on this shoe. You got some bigger sections up there, and then over here on the inside of the shoe, you've got a large section of mesh. You've got a white swoosh right here around the toe box, and also one here on the inside of the shoe. Now for the lacing, like I said earlier, this is an offset lacing pattern. You can see it switches from flywire to no flywire and kind of back and forth for the eyelets. The flywire is a laser orange color. And then these sections where it comes, the laces go straight through the mega fuse actually really annoy me. I've tried to relace, or I did relace my regular LeBron 12s, and getting through these sections was like very difficult just because there's not a lot of good ways to maneuver the laces through there. Up here in the middle, you've got this cool lion's head lace lock. This is brand new for these shoes. You've got kind of like the teeth biting down on the laces, which is a cool look. On the back of that, it does say established in 1984. Red laces have the black LeBron logo there up on the tips. And then here at the top of the tongue, you've got more sections of mega fuse. And then you've got these 5 hex-shaped symbols in white. And those, first of all, you got the 5 hex pods on the bottom, and then also the 5 represents just the 5 times LeBron has been to the NBA Finals, since this is like a postseason shoe. Looking at the lining now, you can see that Pro Combat material, and it's got like an interesting pattern. It's one we see throughout the LeBron 12. I'll point that out in other places, but you can tell that it's very plush. The back of the tongue has LeBron's signature, and then the lining is in your laser orange, and then it says Elite Series instead of the 12th in there with the LeBron logo. So now looking at kind of these structural pieces, you've got those vertical takeoff wings, and those are like the structural, like rigid components on top of this black pylon. You can actually see, I don't know if this will pick it up well, but there are places where you can actually see like the little injection points throughout the pylon. It's not going to really show up, but so you do have like just little bumps throughout on the black material, which isn't that big of a deal, just something to note. And then the actual TPU material here, that's kind of the rigid wings, is clear, and it's got that same pattern as we saw in the lining. You can see that throughout there, and then it's on top of a red base, so that's why it looks red, because if you see right up here where it's used for the eyelets, it's actually just clear. You've got panels of mesh in between. There are holes cut out to help reduce weight, so you've got just the red mesh like we see throughout the upper. Looking at the back here, you got more mega fuse. There's a 3 on the right shoe and a 2 on the left shoe for 23, LeBron's number. Instead of the fabric pull tab, you've got this like rubbery plastic material. It's like a smoked out translucent. You got the LeBron logo and some other information going on there. Now the outside of the shoe has this TPU coming up here, kind of right to the midfoot point, kind of wrapping up, and that actually is part of the lacing system as well. But on the inside of the shoe, it's just this wing back here and then nothing else. The midsole is black, you can see a little bit there. Then more over here with the laser orange shank coming up, and that also has that pattern that I was talking about that we kind of see a lot on the LeBron 12. Flipping now to the outsole, you've got the translucent outsole with the different zoom units. So you've got the large zoom unit back there with the LeBron logo. Then you've got 4 other units. There's one here, 5 other units, excuse me, here, 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 and here. This is actually technically still part of the shank, and that it's hard to see on this pair, but just like the All-Stars, and I'm assuming some of the later releases, this has like one of the shoes has OH and the other has IO for Ohio, because originally there was a 6 in there when that was believed to be his number, but obviously after the initial production run, they stopped that because that wasn't his number. So that about wraps it up for these shoes. Like I said, there are really, when you get down to it, a lot of small changes between the regular and the elite, but it ends up like it has a very similar like shape, but there are a lot of like small cool touches, and I actually really probably like the elite model a little better than the regular, although it's kind of a toss-up for me. I really like them both. Be sure to let me know down below what you think of the shoe, if you pick them up or if you're waiting for the price to drop or if you're just not interested. And as always, don't forget to like the video, subscribe to my channel if you already haven't, and just have a great day, guys. Thanks.